Give us 1 minute. Let us set this up and we'll get rolling very soon. Just 1 minute. Thanks so much for joining us, everyone. I think we are set to go. How's everyone doing? How are you doing, Michael? Happy Monday.
I'm doing well. Tired, but well.
That's
Busy,
awesome.
but well.
I hope everyone's doing well today. This early morning, I couldn't sleep. I normally sleep very well at night, but just for today, I didn't sleep very well. So I woke up and I did a live. And as for some of us who follow the live, and this is the first time that I will ever say this, that the live I did this morning, Michael, 5 minutes, already have over 3,000 people watched it. Wow. So the reason why I bring this up is a moment when you felt something, you can literally open your camera and share it to the world, right? You're going to have people watch it. So, and that's what we are doing here with Michael and I. We'll just sit here and have a conversation based on what we love. So today is a Monday, June 5th, 2023. Once again, Michael and I are coming back together to having a conversation with you. But before we do that, we would like to take a few second moment of silence to remember all the victims and everyone who have been affected by the train collision in India. So let's just take a few seconds just to think about those victims and their families. Thank you so much, everyone. It's always helpful in our life if we could sometime take a few moments in our life and just be still, be quiet, and just let yourself sink into the soul to really have a peaceful and loving life that we are so lucky to have, right? We are all here. The topic today that Michael and I would like to have a discussion about is simply wow. Wow, there's so many wows. If you have been following with ONPASSIVE since very beginning, you have to agree with me how many times in our lives since the day that we start understanding, since the day that we start being part of ONPASSIVE, we have always said, wow, in everything that we are doing. So the topic today is the wow. But let's start from the very beginning, the why, the vision of why ONPASSIVE started, or what is the vision in ONPASSIVE? It's really apparent to everyone based on what we are seeing. ONPASSIVE is a platform where everyone can accomplish their goal and to be able to find the fulfillment to build each other, to build our interests instead of tearing each other down. So that's how I see it, Michael. Looking at the visions of ONPASSIVE, I see that we are working together to fulfill that. What's your thought on that, Michael?
Yes, that's a very good thought, Julie, and hello and welcome everyone. The vision of ONPASSIVE, when we think about, going back to 2018 and how this all got started, and just looking at the landscape, looking what's out there, so many people are always trying to find ways and means, to better themselves financially, whether it's offline, online, whatever the case may be. People have always been searching, and they find something and they think that's the one, and they get in and they put time and effort into it, and it doesn't work out. And then they're on to the next one, and the same thing keeps happening over and over and over again. And so our CEO, he took a look at what was going on, and he says, we certainly can do better. It doesn't have to be this way. There's no reason why good can't be done. There's no reason why people can't come together, like-minded individuals, and put something together that is ethical, something that is clean, something that is not corrupt, so that people can actually achieve what it is they're looking for in life, And so when I looked at that, Julie, that in itself is a wow factor, because most people, that's not their thing. That's not what they're trying to do. Even today, when you look around, it's a me world. There's no sacrifice, as far as people willing to put the work in to benefit others, right? And that's what ONPASSIVE is about. ONPASSIVE is about, hey, can we do all the heavy lifting, right? Can people who are not tech savvy, can they, get success, in this world, right? People who don't know how to market, people don't know how to advertise, people who don't know how to sell, right? Is there a way that we can put together a business that can accommodate those individuals? Because the majority of people, as we know, Julie, they just can't, right? And so to me, that is the first wow, in that we started on this journey, that someone actually stepped up and said, you know what? Yes, we can do this. Let's put together something that will help to uplift humanity. Let's spread the wealth instead of it being, staying with just a few people. Let's spread it. Let's enrich people so that when they have their full, Julie, when they're all filled up, when they're taking care of themselves and their family, right? Let's create a culture that these same individuals will help others. And that's how you uplift all of humanity. And so, yeah, to me, that's the first wow.
Wow. Yes, it is. It is. And we really could appreciate the values that ONPASSIVE has already offering to the world. One of the things that I love so much about ONPASSIVE is the transparency in ONPASSIVE, Michael. Our CEO, Mr. Ash Mufareh, has creating an environment where the employees, we're probably not going to refer our tech team or employees as employees, because the way how he is treating the team is just like, partners, as if, they are working on their own business. And so that they all, in the tech team, our CEO, and everyone who's involved could be able to fulfill not only that their goals, but the whole entire company goals as well. Based on what we see, he treats his team very well, very, very well. And, not forgetting the early birds, the founders, or we call it the early birds, and the potential customers are coming. So I truly really love the transparency of ONPASSIVE, Michael.
Yes, indeed, Julie. Again, when you just look at the landscape, when you look at, the climate that we're in, when you look at big corporations, there isn't any transparency. How many times have you joined a business and you really don't know what they're doing in the background? They say, oh, yes, we're trading A, B, C, D, E, right? And it turns out, nope, that's not what they're doing. Oh, we're doing this over here. And it turns out, nope, that's not what they're doing. There isn't any transparency out there. There just isn't, right? And yet, within ONPASSIVE, we are privy to what is going on. How many times have our CEO come, on a weekly basis and given us updates and letting us know what is going on? Sometimes even the ugly, right? Not too much of it is shared, but, even sometimes that, just so we get a sense of what it takes to actually build a successful business of this magnitude. So the transparency is there, Julie, sometimes too transparent, but that's just how he's built. He's wired that way. And I think that's a good thing for all of us, that he's very down to earth. He's at all of our levels. There is no level or a hierarchy. We're all sitting together at the same table, and we'll all have our fill when it's time. So transparency is important. You can see what's going on, what's going on. You have a good understanding if you're paying attention, and you also have those who are able to break it down and make it even more clear for those who may not get it the first time around. But yeah, there's full transparency in ONPASSIVE, and I love that, Julie, because that's important, especially in this climate that we're living in. There's so many nonsense going on and people just trying to rip off people and all these things. It's just crazy that, it took this long for someone to stand up and say, yes, we can be better. We can actually help people. People need help, Julie. It's not like they don't need help. People need help, and so it's good that not only do we have the right vision, right, but we also have full transparency so people can be smart in the decision making that they're doing. They're aware of what's going on so that they can make the right decision, because ONPASSIVE is the right decision, Julie.
Absolutely, and that's another wow factor that we wanted to bring here to discuss about it also. Another thing that I truly believe in order to have a successful business, you have to be transparent. You have to be ethical. And ethical is something that I like to bring up here in the discussions. Not only the ethical in how you present yourself, not only you yourself, the people around you, but the part that I really want to talk about here is ethical in terms of the technology that we are involved. As we can see, based on the technology that ONPASSIVE creates, it ensure that the strategies, the business practice, it's helping the whole entire human race, not just some individuals or not just some organization. We need to create technologies that actually not only focusing on certain part, but the entire ecosystem. And I believe being ethical is also another key to have a successful business as well.
Yes, another wow, Julie, right? When you think of even your data, something as simple as your data, your information, your name, your email address, phone number, etc., right? When you think of that and how companies abuse that, right? So many times you get phone calls, Julie, it's like, why are you calling me? I don't even know who you are. Right? I didn't give you permission to call me. Why are you calling me? Or you get the emails and they tell you this and this and this and all this fancy stuff, right? And even stuff that comes to your door, right? So, clearly someone sold that information to somebody, because how would they get it, right? So we have a lot of data in ONPASSIVE, right? With 1.4 million account holders, like it's a lot of people, right? And there are those out there who would love to have our business, right? And yet, our CEO and the staff, right, they're making sure that our information is safe, right? Our privacy is important, but at the same time, be able to conduct business that will benefit humanity, right? Not just business, as you said, just going to benefit just a few people, right? Oftentimes, because there's a lot of unethical, strategies or unethical ways and means that companies go about doing their business as to why they generate the amount of revenues that they do, but ONPASSIVE, again, taking the high road, decided to, we can be ethical, we can be clean and still help people become wealthy, and so that's a good thing, Julie, right? Because where there's a will, there's a way. And there is a way to do all of that. You just have to care. You have to have a caring spirit. And if you do that, then the rest will just fall in line, right? So it's not difficult. It's not a difficult thing to do, to go out there and says, you know what? I'm going to always do the right thing when it comes to business. And if it's not the right thing, I'm going to pass on it and move on to something else that is the right thing. It's not difficult. It's a choice. Everything in life is a choice. And so this company ONPASSIVE has made that choice to have an ethical and clean business in everything that we do, the technology, the products, the tools, everything that we do, how we communicate, how we market, everything that the company is doing is 100% ethical. And that, Julie, is a big wow, especially for me and my family.
Absolutely, Michael. Sitting here chatting with you, I can see that we started from the core, knowing the core, the why, the vision that we are going to do. The successful factor, in order to have a successful business, we need to be transparent, we need to be ethical. And based on what the journey has been taking us to this point, we are looking at the next point that we're talking about. It's the branding of ONPASSIVE. As everyone who have been paying attention or have been observing ONPASSIVE, we know ONPASSIVE has put a huge mark on the globe, especially in India, especially in Dubai, in Egypt. That's where all of our offices, we have one in the US, India, Dubai, multiple offices in Dubai. And there are so many more offices in the world. And so branding, it's another key factor of success in ONPASSIVE. And as you mentioned, there's 1.4 million accounts, but there's 2 millions, right? You had mentioned 2 millions customers that coming in. We haven't even launched to the world. We have launched to the world, but the world hasn't known us, like going out with the business, with the products and all, but the branding itself has already known throughout the world. Your thought on the branding? And I think this is really a big wow, another big wow.
Absolutely, because it is so key, right? Especially as a new company, right? You want to be noticed, right? You want, customers to basically be lined up to acquire your products. How do you do that? Well, you do it through branding, right? You need to get your brand out there. You need to let people know who you are and what you're about. And ONPASSIVE has taken, unique ways to get that done, not the traditional ways, right? When we look and see, all that goes on in Burj Khalifa, right? In Dubai, when we see all the various landmarks around the city, that ONPASSIVE is just in every single sector that you can think of, the different partnerships, Julie, all these things, right? They're geared towards getting our brand out there, but doing it in such a way that is not forceful, right? Like this is not sales and sell. People, like the various aspects of how we're branding ourselves, the different partnerships that we're having. Those individuals, they have massive following already, right? So you now connect yourself with that. And what does that do? It makes it easier for people to like you and love you because you are now associated with entities that they already like and trust, right? So when you do that, it just makes your branding that much easier and more acceptable to the public. So the company has really gone, leaps and bounds, I would say, Julie, to get the brand out there, to have a train station, named after your company, just all these things to be aligned, with the World Cup, and everything else that comes with it. It's just amazing that here's a company that has not sold any products to the marketplaces yet, and yet it's putting so much time, effort, money, into getting this brand out. ONPASSIVE is just doing everything the right way, Julie. I'm sure there are companies that are thinking, man, I wish we thought of that. I can see them going to their marketing department, Julie, and says, hey, what's wrong with you guys? Why didn't you guys think of what ONPASSIVE is doing? And so it's amazing to see that a company is doing exactly what ONPASSIVE is doing, Julie, because I certainly wouldn't have thought of any of these ideas, as to say, okay, let's go about doing our branding this way, and there's a lot of traction, right? There's a lot of traction there. That's why we're seeing thousands upon thousands of new customers coming in on a daily basis, going to our websites, going to our blogs and so on, and pretty soon they'll be able to experience some of our paid products. So again, just another big wow, Julie. Everything in ONPASSIVE is just wow. And that's how you do it. if you really care and want to help other people become successful, then there's no limit. There is no limit to the stones that you're willing to turn over to make sure that you're getting your name out there, so that it's so much easier for people to accept and be lined up. Just they're ready to purchase. Okay, when can we get this? We want this, right? And so that's a good thing, Julie. And those who are brand ambassadors, those who are founding members, they will certainly get the rewards and be able to see the manifestation of all of that, and to see why it actually makes sense that the company is going about doing its business the way it has been doing. So, just have to hold on to your socks, hold on to your desk, hold on to whatever you can hold on to, because this baby is getting ready to rock and roll.
Absolutely. And branding is another core key to success as well. We all understand that it all started with being partnered with Bein Sport in the World Cup this 2023, and then being partnered with Dubai government in terms of the quality of the life, the safety. We've having our own metro station in Dubai, and then being partnership with Best Moment events, where the company is holding every major event in Dubai. I mean, thinking about the way how ONPASSIVE is branding, we've been with other companies, we've been working, or we're starting our own companies, and we've never seen anything like this, Michael. We're giving the values, we're giving to people, we define the vision. We are showing everything that's transparent. You were right. There's so much more transparent that we needed to know, but the company wanted to stay on that, being transparent and also being ethical, and now the branding. And that's the reason why there's so many people. There's, I think on the average of 32,000 people or something that joining onto ONPASSIVE ecosystem is because they see the values that the companies already offer. I mean, if you are currently watching this, ask yourself, have you been in any place, any store, any place that the company hasn't really out there completely yet, but you already have people lining up, flocking into the company? It's because the values of ONPASSIVE is offering. So the next point that I want to go in, as we've been observing ONPASSIVE, is automation of ONPASSIVE. Is it really accurate to say that ONPASSIVE is using artificial intelligence to bring targeted traffic to businesses, websites? ONPASSIVE website is creating through the automated and guarantee that the advertising and the marketing is delivering targeted to their customer. Is that an accurate statement to say, Michael?
Indeed, Julie. Automation is important, right? For many different reasons. But for those that are listening, if you have a business, right? Why would you not want to be able to maximize your time within that business? Why would anyone want to spend all their time working? Like, no one really wants to do that. So if there was a way for you to automate some of the jobs, some of the tasks that you have, why wouldn't you? And so within ONPASSIVE, a lot of the tasks, that day-to-day jobs that businesses are doing will be automated, right? When it comes to traffic, we know, that's the lifeblood of any business. If you have a business and you're getting no traffic at all, meaning there's no visitors, no one's walking into your store, no one's walking into your mall, no one's walking to your business, how do you make sales, right? If you have an online presence, right, and no one's going to your website, right, then how do you make sales? If no one knows that you even exist online, how do you make sales, right? So, automation is very, very important. Right. And so using the latest AI technology, the company is able to automate the sales process. Right. Because that's important, because we talked about earlier that most people don't know how to sell. So we can automate that process, Julie, then it just makes it that much easier. Right. Because it is a process. It's not a single event. You don't just go boom and then, oh, there you go. I just made 1,000,001 sales in one day. But it is a process. and as you build upon that, you're able to scale up, right, which basically increases the amount of traffic that you have over time, which in turn will increase the amount of sales that you're making over time. So it's a complete win-win for individuals as well as for businesses, Julie. Automation is very, very important. Just think of things right now that's automated in your life. You understand? You got cars that drives themselves now. I mean, how much more automated can you get than that, right? So, that's the direction that society is going in, right? And so we can use artificial intelligence to do exactly that, and make our lives much easier, right? We want life to be easier, right? And so using the technology that the company has created, we'll be able to make people's lives easier. So I look forward to that, Julie, that's for sure. So yes, definitely a big wow when it comes to automation.
Absolutely. The amazing thing is that if everyone who are currently watching this, I really want you to think about this. On passive, I actually have a car that's coming down that makes a lot of noise now around this time. So I do hope that you could ignore that. But what I'm trying to say is that, if you're currently watching this, I'd like you to put a thought in your mind of thinking like this, okay? On passive is a vehicle that you could use to take your business to another successful level, or individual, so that you can use the values, whatever ONPASSIVE is creating for you to fulfill your goals, your dream in your life. Think about it. Think it that way. And that's why I wanted to bring that word automation, or the part of automation, into our conversations. It also helped to think about the innovation of ONPASSIVE, which is the next wow, and next key factor, what we're talking about here. Based on the technology innovations, ONPASSIVE, we can see that everyone who are using what ONPASSIVE is offering will be able to have or has had a profound impact in their lives. We have experienced a lot of impact in our lives based on what our experiences in ONPASSIVE. ONPASSIVE is creating a values that push us to another level of success, another level of possibilities, which is very efficient, it is accessible, and it is really truly increase the quality of our life. So Michael, innovation is another big key, another big wow in ONPASSIVE as well, Michael. I'd like to focus on that innovation really quick.
Yeah, for sure, Julie. Now, if you have a business, you have to be innovative, right? You have to be able to come up with new ways to deliver your products, deliver your service. You have to be able to, create new technology that's going to assist you to accomplish all of this. And when we talk about, artificial intelligence, we're talking about machine learning, right? We're talking about being able to create software, that can take care of certain tasks, right? There's no emotions involved, the software is able to work long hours, 24/7, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, all these things that the software can do, whereas we as individuals, we have to get our beauty sleep, Julie, right? So, we have to factor that in. But when you have a company that's looking to always, bring new and fresh ideas to the marketplace, that's how you're able to increase your sales, right? Because if you're just bringing the same old, no one is interested in that, right? No one wants to say, oh yeah, that was 10 years ago. Oh, that was 20 years ago. No one wants that, right? So you have to be innovative in your business. And so ONPASSIVE is doing what you're doing, but also be able to use that innovation for other people's business, Julie, right? Because then they'll be able to have tools and products that's powered by ONPASSIVE. That's going to help them, make them look like, oh, this was my idea, right? But when you align yourself with the company ONPASSIVE, you're getting all of that. That's all built in to what you'll receive. And for individuals, okay, when you're able to create a new website, for example, every single day, customers come, visitors come, and this is what they're seeing, they're going to look at you like, wow, I didn't know you were that smart. How were you able to do all of that? Okay, but all of that is being powered by ONPASSIVE. So there's so much, Julie, and this is how we're able to also create things, right? Products, services that will be able to help humanity, by bringing, new things to the marketplace, not just something that is rehashed or not just something that is made over, but actually bringing something that people have never seen before. Again, take a look at the marketing, right? The branding, right? These are innovative ideas. To see 100 plus supercars, with the ONPASSIVE logo on it, going out in a parade. I mean, that's innovative, Julie. To have an entire train station, and to see that canvas that's over it. I'm sure you can see that the logo of ONPASSIVE like a mile away. You know what I mean? The Burj Khalifa, projections. Again, being innovative in getting your ideas out there and getting your brand out there. This is what this company is doing. And this is why so many businesses, including governments and large corporations, Julie, are coming, knocking down ONPASSIVE doors saying, hey, we want you to do this for us. We want you to do that for us. Why? Because they like the way ONPASSIVE thinks. They like what ONPASSIVE is bringing to the table. It is refreshing, Julie, right? And that's important. So that's another check mark of a big wow that this company is bringing to the table. And I'm just loving it.
Absolutely. Wow. That's amazing what a journey we have been on so far. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us here. I hope you do enjoy this conversation. If this is the very first time for you to watch and listening into our conversations, go to www.onpassive.com. It is our main website. However, if you are currently seeing this, conversation somewhere else, get back with the person that shared that with you, because they have a lot of insight to share that with you. Or you simply could go to automaticinternetmillionaire.ws, or the short way of doing it is IamSoInItToWinIt.com. There's a short version of what Michael is putting all the details so far into that website. You actually can check that out as well and continue to share ONPASSIVE with everyone that you love, because as we know, ONPASSIVE is only offer values to the people and to actually take us to another level of quality of lives and successful in business as well. Michael, let's discuss a little bit about moving forward. We understand, especially for me, whatever that I love, I will never stop talking about it. So if ONPASSIVE is what you love, continue to share that with people. What about your thought on that, just that key of sharing?
Check this out. Want a quick and easy way to make tons of pro-looking videos all by yourself? Look no further than Create Studio Pro.
With Create Studio Pro, you can create amazing 3D character explainers just like Pixar, and you never need to use complex 3D software, lose your mind rigging and designing characters, or have to spend thousands of dollars on expensive freelancer fees. As long as you can point and click, drag and drop, you too can make amazing 3D character videos that boost engagement and drive sales. Not only can you create amazing 3D character videos, with Create Studio Pro, you get your very own video studio. So you can create
So I love that, Julie. I really do. Anytime you can reach out and help someone, right? That's a good thing, right? And we have an incredible business in ONPASSIVE. So why not share it, right? And if you share with someone, they don't have to buy anything, right? That's the beauty of it, right? If they see something and they like it and they want to purchase it, by all means, they can do so. But there's no obligation, right? There is no pressure, right? So you simply just share with people. Why? Because you believe, right? And that's if you believe that is something that's going to benefit them, right? If I have something that I know is going to benefit Julie, I'm going to share it with you. Now, what you choose to do with the information that I've shared with you, that's entirely up to you, right? But I'm not going to be knocking down your door every minute. Come on, Julie. Come on, Julie. You know, why didn't you buy yet, Julie? Come on, Julie. You're not in yet, Julie. Like none of that nonsense, right? It's just, here's the information. And then you pick and choose what you want to do with it. Because I said, life is about choices. But I love the fact that, you know, people can get involved in ONPASSIVE as a customer, utilize the products, use all the free products, okay? And if the paid one makes sense to you, go ahead and purchase them, right? I know people will purchase the paid products, Julie, because they're going to love it. There's no doubt about that, right? But they do have a choice, right? And so I just get the word out to as many people as possible and just leave them with the word, right? And what they choose to do with the word, that's on them. But I know if they can see what I see, if they can see what you see, Julie, they're going to jump in and they just can't wait to get in. Why? Because there are financial rewards as well, right? People will be able to change, you know, their, or let's say accomplish, let's not say change, but accomplish their financial goals, right? So many people are out there looking for ways and means, Julie, to better themselves financially. They are. I mean, that's just a fact, right? A 9-to-5 job is just not cutting it for most people. There are people out there who are unemployed, right? And so they're looking for a new career. There are students who graduated from university and can't find a job, Julie, so they're working at McDonald's, right? Why would you spend thousands of dollars to go to university to go get paid? You know, well, here in Canada, I think minimum wage is like $16 and something an hour. Like, why would you? It makes no sense, you know? So definitely there is a career in ONPASSIVE. People can make ONPASSIVE that we have spoken about, Julie, in previous discussions, that it could actually be a career for them, right? So yeah, somebody may want to be a psychologist, somebody may want to be a lawyer, somebody may want to be a carpenter, but guess what, right? Somebody can actually come and make ONPASSIVE a career, and it will be financially rewarded. There is no doubt in my mind about that, because we have products that people will buy. And that's what a business is about. If you got products and people are buying your products, guess what? You're making money. It's as simple as that. It doesn't get any simpler, Julie, right? And so it is very easy, especially with the automation, especially with all the bells and whistles that the company will provide to make your life easier, to make the process easier, right? Basically, you're selling without selling. That's what I call it, right? And all people have to do is just get involved. You know, that's what we say, that you have to be in order to win, right? And so many are going to experience that, Julie, right? Right now, so many not even really understand what ONPASSIVE is really about. So many that don't even understand how can ONPASSIVE impact their financial situation. But this company has been put together to be able to help families, Julie, help families create a financial destiny, right? To get families in a situation where income is there for generations to come, not just one-time income, not just income that's just here short-term, but we're talking about longevity. We're talking about here for their children's children. That's what we're talking about, life-changing income, Julie, right? And so when people fully understand and get it.
Bạn có biết rằng có một cuốn sách cho phép bạn thể hiện bất cứ điều gì bạn muốn không? Cuốn sách này ở Vatican và được giữ bí mật ở đó cho đến năm 2015. Tương truyền rằng một tu sĩ Vatican đã viết chi tiết về bí quyết để có thể hiện ra bất cứ thứ gì bạn muốn nhờ vào sức mạnh của vũ trụ và Chúa Trời. Cuốn sách này đã cho phép hàng nghìn người thời đó thể hiện tình yêu, sức khỏe, tiền bạc và hạnh phúc. Cuốn sách này thành công đến nỗi giới tinh hoa châu Âu đã cấm nó và bỏ tù nhà sư này. Tôi muốn giải thích cho bạn cách bạn có thể thể hiện những gì bạn muốn, nhưng YouTube không cho tôi nhiều thời gian để thể hiện bản thân. Nên mình làm video cho các bạn xem. Hãy nhanh chóng nhấp vào nút vì quảng cáo này chỉ hiển thị một lần cho mỗi người. Hẹn sớm gặp lại.
There's no need to look anywhere else. There's no need to go anywhere else, because ONPASSIVE is 100% inclusive, right? And you don't have to be tech savvy. It doesn't matter what your background is. None of that stuff matters, Julie. As long as you have a desire, right? Have a desire for success, then you'll find a home in ONPASSIVE, right? Whether you're 80 years old, doesn't matter. ONPASSIVE is for you. Whether you're 18 years old, doesn't matter. ONPASSIVE is for you. ONPASSIVE is for everyone, everywhere, you know? And so just check off the box, Julie, and say another wow, because that's what this is. There's billions upon billions of people around the world that are struggling, people that are homeless, people don't have clean water, people, that are just struggling financially. And it doesn't have to be that way, Julie, because there's more than enough for everyone. But people are selfish, people are greedy, right? But here in ONPASSIVE, we've gotten rid of that type of corruption. Here in ONPASSIVE, we made it a level playing field that doesn't matter who you are, you can come and achieve the success that you're looking for. So folks, wow, 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 and more wow. That's what ONPASSIVE is. We should call it, oh wow, Julie. Oh wow, ONPASSIVE, wow, oh wow.
Yes, yes, and that doesn't end, because we could sit here all day and talking the wow factors of ONPASSIVE. Before we leave, I wanted to say this. Imagine yourself as a parent. Imagine yourself as an individual who just spent the last 12 years, 16 years, be in school and owe few $100,000s. And then you couldn't find the job that you wanted, or you couldn't find a place where supporting you to do all that you have been doing. So let's just think about that, right? So this is something, I call it a blessing. I call it an opportunity, right? So I wanted to bring this point up is because there are so many informations that are out there. And if you're interested to the conversation that we've been having, there is a playlist in our YouTube channel that you're currently watching, or if you're on Facebook, also that YouTube channel has a playlist of all of our conversations. Now, if you are in ONPASSIVE, the early birds, on Tuesday, Susie McCrae and I will be in the Bangladesh webinar. We're going to chat about how are we going to do from this point on. It's a chatting. It's what are the steps that we should use, and everything that we are doing in ONPASSIVE is truly focusing on the passions that we have. Whether or not your passion is to have an online course, coaching, or if your passion is about health and wellness, or if your passion is about traveling, or if your passion just simply to help someone else, to help, children with no shoes, to help hungers. Whether or not, whatever that passion in life is, make sure you know that ONPASSIVE is a vehicle for you to actually do that. All right, for all of us, not just the people that are watching here, but it's for myself, for Michael, and everyone who is, everyone I believe has a passion in their life. So thank you so much for joining us today. If you haven't done so, please subscribe to the channel. We are doing this every Monday. And also throughout the week, it's depend on things that are happening in life. I always do live as I feel like there's a calling. I would always do that, like I did this morning. Anyway, thank you so much, Michael, for being here. Thank you for all the great conversations that we have. And most of all, let's focus on and sending prayers to our friends in India who got affected by the train collisions over the weekend. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. Michael, any last words?
No, thank you, Julie, for having me. Again, it's always a pleasure having these discussions with you. And I certainly hope that those that are listening can benefit from it and come to the same level of conviction that we have, because ONPASSIVE is your next stop. ONPASSIVE is your financial destination. ONPASSIVE is the vehicle that can get you whatever it is that you want in life. And life is for living, Julie. It really is. And that's my desire. My desire is to see as many people as possible live the life that God intended for them. Because this place can be a great place when you don't have all the worries, when you don't have all the stress. Take away that financial stress for most people, and they're okay. They don't have to be rich, Julie. They don't have to be, millionaires and all these things. But just to have good quality of life, clean water, proper roof over their head, food that they're not going to bed hungry at night, all the basic essentials. That's where you start. So you help people with that, Julie, and give them the ability to add on top of it, right? Give them the ability to add on top of it. And, if people have that, they're going to be fine. And so ONPASSIVE is going to be able to do that for billions, Julie, to be people around the world shortly.
Absolutely. That's it, everyone. That's a wrap. Have a great day, everyone. God bless you all. And if it's not time to go to bed for other people yet, but enjoy the rest of your evening and take care. God bless you all.